Set with Scarlet Moon Creations, and I am back with my Zodiac-a-thon Wrap Up video. To start, I'm going to show you from my bullet journal insert the page I used to help me keep track of what books I plan to read and the prompts for Zodiac-a-thon. I forgot to show this for Witchathon, so yeah. But there's my page, my little constellations, guy, whatever. So, let's dive right in. If you didn't watch my TBR video, Zodiac-a-thon was a readathon based on prompts created by Carrie the Book Bell. And their announcement video will be linked in the description down below, along with the Zodiac-a-thon Twitter account. And I discussed the books I plan to read, those that I might get to and might not. But I am satisfied because I completed the 4 books that I absolutely wanted to complete and that I had on me. So, let's just go through the prompts. First prompt was buddy read a book with someone who shares your sun sign. I did join my sun sign group, which is Scorpio, on Twitter, but the 2 books that were chosen, not that we had to read both, but some could get one and some couldn't, were the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and while I do want to read that, I was not able to get it in time, and I wasn't going to buy it. So, unfortunately, the other book was Night Circus, which I've already read, so I did not complete this prompt. Boo-hoo. Maybe next time, or next year. The second prompt, read a book with an astrology or astronomy related word in the title. I plan to read Lunar Abundance by Ezzy Spencer, and I read Lunar Abundance by Ezzy Spencer. This is a non-fiction book, and it's a guide to cultivating peace, security, and purpose in both your personal and professional life, guided by the phases of the moon. And I enjoyed this. This was actually, I mean, the book looks hella thick, but it's actually not that bad. There are pages like this, and also just spreads with quotes on them. So, well, there's plenty of them, so it's not as thick as I thought. I didn't learn anything completely new except for how Ezzy is using the yin and yang practice within Lunar Abundance, which I found interesting. I personally have only myself have worked mostly with the yang phases as far as Ezzy categorizes them: new moon, first quarter moon, full moon, and the last quarter or third quarter moon phase. And the yin phases are those in between: the crescent moon, the gibbous moon, the disseminating or waning gibbous, I think, and the balsamic moon phases, which would be the yin phases. So, since the yin phases seem to be more resting periods, I might work that into my personal practice. So, I did get a lot out of this book. It's a very gorgeous book, and I enjoyed it. So, yeah. Next, read a book that fits the challenge for your sun sign. My sun sign is Scorpio, as I mentioned, and it's a book that has romance. Honestly, I wrote this down. I might be wrong. It could have been a romance book, but I don't really remember. So, whatever. I went with a book that has romance. J.D. Robb's Dark in Death. As I mentioned in my vlog for this reading week, I quite enjoy the ongoing romance of Eve and Rourke, the two main characters. Honestly, Eve is more of a main character than Rourke, but they're particularly in this one. This is the 46th book in this series. So this is a long-running, ongoing, futuristic series that I enjoy. So it's set in the future, like I said. There's a case. Eve is a police lieutenant, and we follow the story. This book actually is kind of meta, with the case being related to a fiction author who writes police procedural type things, and this is obviously a book written by an author that writes police procedural books. And so, very interesting. In case you did not know, J.D. Robb is a pseudonym for Nora Roberts. This is the name that she uses specifically for the In-Depth series. So, yeah. Again, love the romance in this. It's not like over the top. They are in a committed marriage, and they love each other. So it's kind of like every day in the life, except Eve is a police lieutenant solving cases, and Rourke is a gazillionaire, as Eve likes to say, running his international businesses. But you know, they both grew up rough on the streets, so they have interesting ways of seeing Eve's cases and the people involved in them. So, yes. Next prompt for read a book that fits the challenge for your moon sign, Aquarius. A book out of your comfort zone. So in case you didn't get that, Aquarius is my moon sign, or as a sign my moon is in, and I had to read a book out of my comfort zone. That book was Light of the Fireflies. The Light of the Fireflies. That was a weird ass book. I enjoyed it, but not that much. And I'm not gonna read it again. I did look to see what other books Paul Penn, the Spanish author who wrote it, wrote. He doesn't have a ton, but he has one other. I don't know if I want to. I'm not against psychological thrillers. I have read others before, but this felt a little bit plotless. Maybe plotless is not the word, but it was definitely focused on the psychological aspects, and I'm just gonna throw in a bit of a spoiler here. I feel like every one of them should have gone to jail except for the kid. I think that was my main problem with this. I couldn't let go all that they all did wrong. Just no. No. I'm not okay with that. They did a lot to protect their family unit, and ultimately it boiled down to, oh, if we go to jail, they'll split us up and we'll never see each other again. But basically, if we lock ourselves in the basement, we'll be together forever in jail. And it's like they jailed themselves, but then they lied to their kids. This I guess crossed a moral line for me, which is weird because I do enjoy psychological thrillers. I didn't know that's what this was going into it. I thought it would be a little more on the horror thriller side, which is definitely out of my comfort zone. But this just didn't sit right with me in my core and my values. What am I trying to say here? Like I said, I've read psychological thrillers. I read books with all kinds of things, the trigger warnings or whatever, and while I don't accept what the people do as wrong, whether as okay, whether it's morally gray or illegal, or taking another life, or psychological, emotional, physical abuse, all of those things. I'm okay with them usually in the context of the story, but they were very self-serving and nobody cared about the girl, and that started this whole thing basically. So hi guys, this is future editing Lishette, interrupting just to add something that just occurred to me because this video is short. I thought I would put it in anyway because, like I mentioned before, I like to talk, or I like to have a lot to say. So with regards to the Light of the Fireflies, I realized while editing this, another thing that bothered me about this book is I don't like how the family treats the oldest son and his brain injury. We don't really get an idea of exactly what's wrong with him. We know what happened, and I say brain injury because it's implied that he was a normal little boy until he fell down the stairs, and from there we get a lot of odd behavior. I say odd because that's how they see it. And even though he grows up and is a teenager, maybe even makes it to about 20 or in his 20s, early 20s, he still acts like a child younger than when he fell down the stairs. And they sort of, because of the way the book is formatted, we get their time in the basement while they've been there a while already. And then we get a flashback to why they're in the basement, and then we come back to present day, and then we go to the future. That's like the setup. It's not linear time. So we see, like, for half the book, this kid that could possibly be autistic or have some other mental health issue that's not physical, or not necessarily a physical issue. So then when we go to the past and we find out he fell down the stairs and then was kind of left in this injured state for hours later, and when the parents found out, and the ambulance was called and all of that, it was kind of too late to fix him. Then it's just like, well, why are you guys treating him like this? And the whole treatment of the oldest son is just, by the author, really is kind of not okay with me. It makes me really uncomfortable. I feel like there's something wrong there. And it kind of feels like it's misleading. I am not an expert on any kind of mental health issues, whether they be physical or whatever. But it seems clear to me that neither does the author. So yeah, some of the actions by the family towards the son, and then the actions that the author has the son doing, particularly to his sister, who is a whole other can of worms that's not really explained. So much about this makes me feel uncomfortable, like this is wrong. that I don't like it. So yeah, back to past Lachette for the rest of the wrap up. Thanks for listening. Hey, Prompt number 5. Read a book that fits the challenge for your rising sign. My rising sign is Gemini, and that prompt is to read a book that has siblings. And I read A Gathering of Shadows, which I love. This book is so different from the first one in the series, A Darker Shade of Magic. Just the focus of it. This is more character development. The first one was more about the plot, the activity, and world building or setting up the worlds. I don't know. So I enjoyed getting to know our characters more, and I kind of shoved this in because I wanted to read it. I needed to take it back to the library, which it's due today. But I read this for the Rai-Kel sibling thing. They're not blood siblings like I mentioned, but they were raised as siblings, and because of how the last book ended, they're even closer whether they want to be or not. And so because this is more character focused, we get more of Rai and we get more of their relationship together. We also get some new characters, one of which I was worried would create a whole love triangle thing, which would annoy me, but it didn't. It went somewhere else completely, and I was just like shocked on the train, like, what do I do with myself? The relationship Alucard, Emery, has with Lila, after a while started making me think of siblings as well. So this is a great book to fill this prompt. If you're looking for like good friendship, relationship, and sibling relationship stuff, this series I think is probably going to be a good one. This is going really close to being my new favorite series. And then the last prompt for Zodiac-a-thon: read a book. Read the group book. Read a book. Read the group book, Astrology, the 12 Signs, by Lunar Abundance. I was not able to squeeze that in, so I did not read the group book. Darn the luck. But I read the 4 books I had planned to, and I'm happy. I enjoyed immensely the live show that Carrie and Mika and B did on Tuesday night, even though they have some technical difficulties and it was kind of all over the place. It was still fun. They still know a lot of shit about astrology, and I hope they do some more astrology lives. And I hope to see Zodiac-a-thon again. It was very interesting. So I hope you enjoyed this video and my trip through another readathon. And that is all for now. I will see you guys in the next video. No more readathons for a couple of months. Bye!